Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Zulagans, Zulageens, and those who don't identify as such. Welcome to a new little thing that I'm going to be doing for however long it takes to get through all of this. We at the UPC, that's the Underground Podcast Cum Dump. That's the rebranding of ICP with Wee's Discord, the Underground Podcast Community, I think it is. That's the collective. I think that's it. I'm very good at this, you see. So I guess some people are taking a bit of a break. Not necessarily by choice. It's all of the Twisted With Us crew are, they got sick in a row, except for Robbie. Robbie just has some stuff going on that he can't record at the moment, so there's a break in all of that content, and somebody needs to fill that void. So I decided, you know what? I could be that person. And Juggalo Rewind. Not that no one listens to Juggalo Rewind, so it doesn't. No, I'm kidding. I love them. I love those guys. They're fine. They're great. I love them. I'm just joking. That was just a little jab at them. No, they're holding it down, and it's appreciated. So, but no, I decided that I would supplement a little bit by doing a thing. Welcome to Schmeev's AXEcellent adventure. I'm going to be listening to these fucking Alla Xul Elu guys and doing a little talking about them. This isn't going to be like a normal JJ episode. I'm not going to be playing any of the stuff on here. I'm still kind of feeling out the process that I want to go through for this. Maybe I'll play it for myself and cut it out, cut out the space in there to refresh. But for now, I have my notes here, and I'm just going to roll through it track by track and give a little talk about it, and then talk about an overall thing. I was originally only going to cover the 5 albums that I have. But then Mike, whenever I asked him about doing this, by the way, this is with Mike's blessing. I'm not just taking over the show, on my own here. I'm always going to ask my homie. This is both of our fucking thing. So he graciously, quote unquote, sent me the other 2 albums, which I did not have, Head of Horns and Psycho Volume 1. So, I'm just going to walk through them, and I'm just going to give you guys give my thoughts on them, track by track and all that stuff. I'm on my own here. I'm fucking drowning in this ocean of loneliness. We will be covering these again whenever they come up. In the timeline of the JJ show, but for now I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do this right here, right now, because I listened to them. I heard them at Camp Sewell, and it was a fun time. And I was just like, you know what? Let me do a little thing. Let me give a little gift to all the people who are missing some content lately. And just to remind you that we still exist. This show is still on hiatus, but alive. We're anytime we talk about it, we still talk about it in the the future tense of what will happen with it. We ain't buried it yet, so don't expect it to just disappear. It's just life is difficult. But also life works out. So, Head of Horns is the first album by Alla Xul Elu. Now, I could have gone and done the research for this properly, but that's not what I do. That's Mike's job, and I could have asked him to give me a quick write-up and explanation for it, but I didn't. So I don't know if this is from their time on MNE. I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure this is pre-MNE. I think maybe the Necronomicrons were the only thing that they released on MNE, but I could be wrong about that because, again, I don't fucking know. But yeah, this is the first album released by them. This only has Alla and Xul Elu did not join until later. That's Billy Obey and Joe Black. They're the only two members here, and they're the only voices, save for one, that you will hear throughout. But yeah, it's they're on that horrorcore shit. It's been said many times by a variety of people that they're looking to basically be the it's looking like they're gonna be what the future of the scene is. As far as like not like horrorcore as an overall thing, but definitely like the kind of Juggalo scene, so much as it is a thing. And it is, I guess. But they are kind of what the future of that scene is probably going to look like. They're definitely building their own thing. And that's very cool. So yeah. Head of Horns. Just gonna dive right the fuck into it. The intro. I busted out my my copy of the Bible for this. It's the New King James Version, so take that with a grain of salt and all that stuff. I should have gotten an NIV, I think, but I didn't. Got this one. So I have some differences between what he says here and what's actually in the passage that he's referencing for sure, from Revelations 13 something. You got the beast from the sea, 7 heads, 10 horns, 10 crowns upon those horns. And then the second beast is the beast from the earth. It's just got 2 horns, which makes the 12 horns that he references. Very cool. They speak blasphemies that have them like written on their heads and shit, which he says like boasts. It's a very similar thing. And also they're countries and not literal beasts, or like the heads are different countries or something like that. Like, it's a whole thing. The Revelations as a prophetic vision is it's bad. It's bad, y'all. Don't do it. Stop it. Cut it out. Tim LaHaye, well, he's dead, but good. But fuck that guy and his fucking bullshit. Ruined so much life. But no, it's very cool. The imagery is nice. We all love some good Revelation shit. Who doesn't love some Revelation shit? But that leads us right into crawling. If this was a regular JJ episode, I'd play Linkin Park's Crawling here, and Mike would be like, fuck you. But Mike would know. He would know instantly. He wouldn't even before we started the episode, he'd be like, all right, I'm ready for him to play Crawling. But no, we got a good beat and lyric cohesion here. They both give like this bleak, apocalyptic, like kind of edgy nihilist vibe. While lyrically they're speaking very frankly about the ennui of the daily grind, just sort of feeling like you're spinning your wheels, not getting anywhere, and feeling that just the dread of it all, facing daily life. It's fucking rough, man. I can dig it. This is going to be a pretty short thing, actually. I'm probably not going to be dwelling on these a whole lot unless there's a lot to talk about on a specific one. So we're just going to move right along. That's what it is. That's what the track is. If that short sentence that I just said there, that's the track, baby. Blame the music. All right. This one's kind of a, giving into intrusive thoughts song. Sort of, not exactly. Intrusive thoughts go a bit beyond that. But yeah, it gives me vibes of like Teenagers by My Chemical Romance, where it's about, sort of putting like the music that you listen to, and you know the band sort of being an icon for you, instead of like you're kind of able to put your feelings into them and all that stuff, and not, you know, deal with the shittiness and all that stuff. But that's not quite what they're doing here. They're saying, go murder somebody, and you can just kind of blame the music. Which, you know, what a time. It's a good beat on here. I'm going to probably mention mostly like that the beats are just good. They have this like old school New York kind of beat thing going on with most of their stuff, and I dig that. It's really cool. Got some piano in there. I love some piano on a hip hop beat. Wrestling references, they come up all over the place with these fuckers. They're all about it because they're fucking nerds. You know, that's, if there's anything to take away from, honestly, hip hop in general, it's that they're a bunch of fucking nerds, you know? And it's great. Sharpshoot the shit with Bret Hart's mom. Good fucking pun, dudes. Let's go. And, you know, there's just so much shit going on in here. They also murder Bret Hart's mom, but, you know, that's what happens. What can you fucking do? She was talking too much, and as we all know, that's the worst thing a woman can do, is speak. This is where Mike would, you know, he would kind of put his head in his hands, and yeah, but he's not here to do that. But I know he's listening, and he did that. He fucking did it. Hi, Mike. So we're going to move on from Blame the Music on to Midnight. I really like the beat there. Again, that New York beat, baby. And I like Joe Black's verse, but the rest is just on that Juggalo love song stuff that I just don't care for as much. It's just not my thing, you know? It's whatever, man. It's whatever. It's fine, you know? I don't care for it too much, but it's there. We're just going to bounce from there. Wrong or Right. All right, this one. There's an interesting hook on this one. I like it. It vaguely feels like the song is kind of speaking to the artist's reliance on their fans to continue existing in a way, you know? And I think that's pretty cool. You know, it's like you decide if this continues or if we just salvation's in the bullet, sin is in the brain. Fucking good line. That whole section actually is just very cool. I really like that, from delivery all the way down to the writing and all that stuff. And Billy Obey opening with my heart is black as ever, and then closing out that verse with at heart I'm pure. Very interesting, you know, change over the course of that verse. And a lot of their writing, this is actually a thing that I've known before. I've known of it as a phenomenon, and I've talked about it before, but I've never had the words for it. But there's a video I watched recently by 12 Tone. That's right. Excellent music theory channel. Highly recommend if you enjoy music stuff. Not even just like deep music theory stuff, just, you know, stuff like this, where he talks about what he refers to as vibes lyrics, where they don't necessarily mean anything if you're to look at them closely and break them down, but when you listen to them, they still paint a picture in your mind and give you a vibe. He specifically uses Rob Zombie's Dragula and a couple other Rob Zombie songs where it's just like Rob Zombie doesn't tell you a story per se. He says words that sound cool in sequence. And there's a lot of that goes on here. I mean, you know, there's stunting tracks, there's that kind of stuff. And then there's also things where it's like they're they're still painting a picture, but without, their lines naturally following each other in any kind of narrative. And it's pretty cool. I dig it. I dig it a lot. There's also a little triplet thing going on the keys throughout that. Whenever I listen to it, I'm not sure where it happens, but there's somewhere where it like loops in an odd place or something, or it I don't know, they're just doing some stuff, so it's not staying consistent throughout. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It gives it that little unsettling kind of vibe. It's like I actually, in my head, it reminded me, going all the way back to the beginning of this fucking show, the almost beginning. Beverly Kills, the Stalker, has that like synth in the background that's doing that. It was very cool. So yeah, I liked it. Up next, Sold My Soul. Little Robert Johnson deal. If you're familiar with the classic Ralph Macchio film Crossroads, or just Robert Johnson, who is a real person who existed. The story being that he sold his soul for his blues playing ability. This one's a straight up stunting track. It's an easy add to any AXE set, I would reckon. I'm pretty sure that they play it all the time. I believe they played it at Camp Zool, and I know that they also played it whenever they appeared at The Gathering, because somebody talked about it in the Discord and made a joke about he should have sold his soul for a better microphone because their sound was garbage there. But yeah, this one, it's just one of those set staples, maybe until you get to the Almighty and they do Axe's Family, and then maybe you could kind of swap those out here and there, depending on how much other stuff you want to cover. But you have multiple set staples for any given group, so those two are some pretty good ones, and then have to prune that tree later. But this one's a good starter one from their first album. At the end of Joe Black's verse, he calls something out that apparently some people didn't notice before, because whenever I was listening to one of their albums, I can't remember, it was probably Almighty, I mentioned one of the members having a lisp, and some people were like, fucking what? And it's like, one of them has a fucking rap lisp. It's not ABK, but it's there. And Joe Black, he called out his own lisp on Sold My Soul. And how the fuck are these posers not fucking hearing that? Jesus Christ. Anyway, that was it. That's a good track. Good stunting track. That's me turning my page to the rest of my notes. Come to Letter from Hell. This track, good concept. I think I think it was good in concept, and I think the verses are good. You get some of that classic Alla Xul Elu storytelling that we talk about on this show all the time. The problem that this one runs into for me is that I think they should have written a better hook. You don't need to tell me that you're writing letters from hell. That's what your verses are, and the title tells me that. You can just leave the title being Letter from Hell, and your hook can sort of expound upon, maybe the feelings that you get writing these letters, or, the situation around which you're writing these letters in and all that stuff. Give me a chorus that sort of unifies the overall concept of writing letters from hell, besides just telling me you're writing letters from hell. I don't know, man. That is the one part that sticks with me for some reason, and it's unfortunate because, again, it's a really cool concept, and I think the letters themselves, the verses, are pretty fucking cool. It's just that hook, man. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do it? But we can move on from there. It's cool. That's all. It's just cool, and that's the one thing that bothers me. Head of Horns, the title track. This one, it's another, it's another stunting kind of track. Very weird hook, honestly. It's just kind of nonsense, which, I mean, whatever. But it's like, fuck you, it's the Alla Xul Elu, AXE all day. All this, and just like, man, you're just saying a lot of nonsense words at me. You're just kind of babbling into the mic. What's up with that? But that's fine. We get an Eagles reference. Let's go, baby. Stab it with their steely knives. Can't kill the beast. I love that. They named Robert Johnson directly. Straight up just saying, that's the guy. He done sold his soul. I don't know why it wasn't on Sold My Soul, but fine. In verse 3, for the first many lines, there's a very weird laugh at the end of each one. That sounds kind of like Chris Calico choking while he's trying to do his aha thing. It was just kind of strange. I don't know. It happens, in my opinion, too many times in a row. It was just fucking weird. It's whatever. It's there. It grated a little bit as it went on, but no, the track is pretty cool. I don't think I'm gonna talk much about the beats going on. Maybe a couple times here and there, but for the most part, I dig them. I really do dig them. This album is one that, like, I could put on and just kind of rock to without paying much attention to anything else, because it just, beats feel good. It's good stuff. Moving on, we got Zombie. There's like an extra E or something. Unless that's a typo. Maybe Mike typoed while he was typing these tracks. It's Billy Obey solo track. Again, that classic Billy Obey storytelling that we talk about all the time on this show. It's just talking about being a zombie, wanting to eat brains. He's completely just enamored with eating brains, and he's driven exclusively by that. He kind of talks in a way about the person that he used to be, and being dissociated from that, referring to that person in the third person as if it is a different person. I said person a lot. Wow. Talking about eating somebody that they once loved and all that, which is, it's just cool. It's a very interesting track, getting into the head of a zombie. Yeah. Moving on. Paper Mache. I don't know why, but I feel like one of the times I was listening to this, I was like, this is probably a track that Mike likes a lot. I don't know why. It just sounds like one. There's something about it. And Paper Mache, pretty cool. Sick beat. Sick lines. This one is just, it's just really cool. Talking about being, molded to be a certain way. And this is another one where it's just kind of a lot of vibes lyrics. They're not carrying a narrative. They're just talking about, they're just giving you the vibes of it, of, being sort of molded to be evil. You know what I'm saying? Joe Black tends to actually be a little bit more narrative in a way whenever he's rapping, it seems. It's an interesting thing. Like Billy Obey, he's definitely a big time stunting kind of dude, and he's got a lot of vibes lyrics in him, and he carries that very well. But Joe Black, he seems to kind of try to not necessarily for an entire verse, but at least like for some lines, he will carry through a single idea and narrative. until he can free associate to something else off of the end of it. And it gives them a good, like, you know, gives them their own voices. So you're not just hearing the same guy rapping all the time, which is pretty cool. This is a very short track. It's in, it's out. I dig that. It's just cool. I like this one. You know. Up next we have Unbecoming. This one's a short track. This one's just a little interlude kind of thing, and it's really cool. The first part of it reminds me a little of a Cess Crew track. I can't remember what it was. It's one where they're like echoing each other, and it's, you know, just a cappella, which this one mostly is. I think there's still like an ambient kind of thing behind them, but there's no beat or anything. But yeah, it was really cool. I dig it. You know, Unbecoming. They're, you know, dying, becoming evil stuff, something like that. That's what most of this is, to be real. It's a lot of we're bad dudes from hell. Yeah, that's cool. Up next, Bad Guy. Here's where I would put the Billie Eilish song, and I would talk about how it's a very strange cover, and Mike would be like, "Fuck you, shut the fuck up," or something. You know, I fucking hate you. That's a Mike classic right there. Need a quick drink of water. I was sick earlier this week. It's part of the reason why I'm recording this right now on Sunday morning. The Sunday morning I'll be uploading it. I just kind of had some days taken away from me where I had to, be sick and miserable and sleep a day away. But I'm doing good now. Just kind of dealing with the aftermath. Bad Guy, though. Another really bleak track. We get some, struggles with faith in here, trying to, wanting to kind of connect to something good, but not being able to, and all that. It's a rough one. They got kind of like a fear of / fascination with death and the unknown, and like, the afterlife and stuff. Very interesting, like, ideas and stuff here, and just, trying to find something to hold on to, and just grabbing fucking nothing, man. And, in that kind of situation, whenever life doesn't offer you anything to hold on to, you kind of find yourself pushed into one direction. It's a rough one. It's speaking to something real, unfortunately. And the outro is a little spoken word clip from something, I don't know what it was, addressing like coverage of mass murders and the like, the way that whenever you put that on the world stage, it can sometimes breed more of them, copycats and the like. But no, it's a cool one. Very bleak. Up next, we got Highway to Hell, or maybe just Highway. Depends on where you look. On Genius, it's just called Highway, but everywhere else it looks like it's Highway to Hell. So who knows? Who can say? We have Just Dave. I don't know who Just Dave is, but before I looked this up to find out who this was, I was going to say it sounds like they actually got Jamie Madrox on the track to sing, especially at the end of it. It's super Jamie Madrox. But no, it's Just Dave. And I don't know who the fuck that is. But first verse here, got a lot of vibe lyrics. It's just, he's painting that picture of just evil shit. It's like a maggot farm replaced my brain, it's safe to say. You know? It's there, you know? It's that line is like, it's something I feel like I mean, maggots in the brain, it's all over the place. Brainworms, baby. It's such classic imagery. It's even in our today's sponsor, Baldur's Gate 3. No, just kidding. There are brainworms in Baldur's Gate 3, though. That's like the big issue. Spoilers. It's not a spoiler. It's the whole story. But yeah. But in the second verse, Billy Obey, he gets into. He describes in like 3 lines our descent into late stage capitalist hell. You know, talking about automation taking over jobs, like everything becoming commodified. He said, how long before you breathe and it costs you money? Good question. We're getting there probably. But yeah, it's hoofa doofa, you know, for one that almost sounds kind of like just a kind of nihilist party track, edgy nihilist, you know. Anytime I say nihilist, I have to like preface it with that, because there's the people who kind of carry in through the idea of like nothing means nothing, man. They kind of carry through that in a joyful way, you know, where nothing means nothing, so why not do whatever, you know, and not like in the edgy way again. Instead of like the edgy thing of like nothing matters, so fuck everything. That's the edgy nihilism, and that's where it comes from. But yeah, no, I mean, it's very cool. I like this one. This one has that kind of this one would have a good like rock remix probably. Mike did give me a fucking remix album thing. I don't know if I want to do it, you know. Remix albums. But I mean, this one would probably have an interesting one with that hook and all that stuff. Also, Soul My Soul would probably go pretty fucking hard if you like having just a really heavy drop into that hook. That was something I was thinking about, because before I was taking my notes, it occurred to me, I was like, it could be like a fucking Rock the Dead kind of track or something, but not really. Not like a direct one-to-one to Rock the Dead, but it would serve that kind of purpose, you know, of being just like a really hype fucking heavy guitar track thing. I feel like this one could also do that. Yeah, that's Highway to Hell, you know? Joe Black's on this. He doesn't have much, but again, he's got interesting stuff. Like, he definitely tries to have a narrative to his verses, and that's pretty cool. I dig it. I dig that kind of dichotomy, I guess. Is that what that is? Dichotomy? Whatever. I learned that pastiche doesn't mean what I wanted it to mean today, and that really hurt me. That's all. Track 14, Fallen. Okay. We have, like... Okay, Joe Black's verse. He has a very sick line in a very what if good things are bad verse, where he says, in a war of good and evil, people only worship winners. Which is just... that one hits in a very specific spot. Like, you don't have to be right in a war to get the accolades afterwards. You just gotta win it. And that's gross, dude. It's fucked up that your ability to murder other people better is what wins you, you know, the righteousness, I guess. Fucked up. Billy Obey got a verse about basically just suffering in silence in a world that doesn't value him for like it can't even value him for as a commodity. He says, I worked hard, shit, life ain't no fair. And it's like they couldn't even find value in me as just something to produce value for someone else. Like I couldn't even be rewarded for this. It's rough, man. It's another one of those kind of bleak tracks and all that stuff. And it ends with just a gunshot and everything just cuts. And it's a very cool closer to the album. It really just wraps it up nicely, puts a nice bow on it. And then we have a bonus track. There's an ad break thing in it, which exists. It's fine. I don't care much for fucking skits much. It's whatever. It's there. AIDS and all that, But then we go into this an actual song, and it's mostly just another stun track. That's all. There's not a whole lot to talk about with it, except Billy Obey drops the line, "'Cause I truly go crazy on a motherfucking hook, Rufio." Sick line. S+++. That is a top tier fucking line, dropping that hook reference. That's good shit, baby. It's so good. And then you got Joe Black out there. He's got a sick final verse where he's pulling out some good references to other artists, or just kind of general, what's the word? Just cultural things, cultural phenomena. I caught bronchitis, feeling a little wheezy. That's good one. Put the cane where your knees be and roll away like crippin' ain't easy. Solid joke. But yeah, it's good. I can dig it. It's a fun one. This is the first album. I've listened to The Almighty before, and I listened to Mos Linoleum, and it was fine, both of them. I liked Almighty. Again, I liked seeing them live, so that was a fun time. I haven't gotten into serious listens of them. I put on each of them once. Almighty on vinyl, which was pretty cool, and yeah, it was a good time. So I'm not mired in it at the moment. This is really my first kind of dive into their work, and it's pretty solid. I can see how this one would carry them through to more stuff. They got skills on the mic. They got good beats. I don't know who did the production for this. I could look it up, but why would I fucking do that? Why would I do something like that? Why would I be doing that right fucking now? Why am I typing while I'm, I don't know. I can't find any information. But yeah, no, it's got good production on it and all that stuff. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a good debut album from them, and I could definitely see how it got them into other places, and got them eventually into MNE for a bit, and then got them enough to do their own fucking shit, cut off and do the indie thing, start their own label, get other artists. How about that? Yeah, they have an interesting sound to them. I wouldn't say that it's anything that's like brand new, never been done. But I mean, to my knowledge, I'm not in this scene too much, but I reckon that they kind of filled a niche that just hasn't been there for a minute, and that carries a lot, you know. Whenever you're the ones doing the thing, and ain't nobody else got that thing the specific way you do it. That's a good place to be in. And the masks. I guess the masks are also a thing. People like the masks, you know. They're fine. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Head of Horns, the debut from Alla Xul Elu. You know where to find us. Fuck it. Oh, I guess I could do like a top 3 drop one. I don't want to, though, because I didn't think about this, and usually I have time while Mike is doing his to think about mine, and I don't have that time right now, so I'm not able to come up with that. So, you know, you tell me what your 3 favorites are and what your 1 drop would be instead, you know? How about that, huh? And then we'll, you know, that'll be cool. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. You know, let me know what you think. I'm probably going to carry through to the rest of these. I don't know if I'm going to do it weekly or bi-weekly. Probably bi-weekly, because I'm not feeling like I can do this again next week. But yeah, I just figured I would drop something while we had a bit of a break in other content, and just remind y'all that we're still alive, we're still here, and we'll still be back someday. Hit us up on the socials, you know, Juggalo Judgment everywhere, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can hit me up at Schmeev on most things. Join the UPC Discord. It's in our link tree in there somewhere. Just go to that. Go to any of our social medias, and in the description we have our link tree. I think I'll check if it's on the Facebook. Yeah, you can talk to us directly there. It's so much more direct. Except for Mike, he's taking a break from a lot of stuff right now, including some social medias. But yeah, come chat. Hit us up on the stuff. And just say hi. You know, we're people. We like to talk sometimes. Mike is Straight Edge Juggalo, or Mike Spawn the SEJ on various platforms. I don't know where is which, but you know, he knows better. And we've done it so much. We've done it on every fucking episode. You know what they are. Just go listen to another one, and you'll find our information, or in the description for this very episode. I'm waffling now. I'm fucking waffling. Yeah, maybe I'll find music to put to this, or maybe I'll come up with like a little theme to start the episodes and end them, or maybe I won't. We'll see later. You might be seeing right now, because I went back and re-uploaded this with all of that stuff, but probably not. All right, catch y'all later. Peace.